Welcome to Everything You Need to Know. Today we are chatting potatoes. So potatoes are actually healthy for you. Some people think white potatoes, there's no vitamins in them, they're white. I beg to differ. I know that's often how we talk as dietitians. Go for the one with more color. But cauliflower is good for us, and that's a white one. So I got you there. So look at our spread today. We've got so many different kinds of potatoes. So let's talk about each of them. Because you know, how you're going to eat the potato means that you have to choose the right potato, or else it's not going to turn out well. So this is a Yukon gold potato, or now just a golden potato. I think they've taken off the Yukon name. But that one is really good for mashed potatoes. Okay, so the skin is really thin. You don't have to peel it, especially peeling potatoes is not a great thing because you're taking off the fiber, right? And you're taking off that thin layer underneath the skin that has the vitamins. So the more times we can leave that skin on, the better. So that's for boiling, that's for mashing. The red is the same, very thin skin, and it's white flesh underneath, just like the white ones. But that makes a really great and really pretty mashed potato when you leave the skin in and you mash it all up and you've got all the skin floating throughout. These are russets. So this is the kind of potato that you see when you go into the grocery store and they have them all foiled up, because this is a baking potato. This is the kind that in the restaurant you pay $5 for. You cut it open, you put some butter, a little sour cream, some chives, maybe some cheese. That's your baked potato. So the skin on it is a little bit thicker. So using this, if this was the only one you had and you wanted mashed potatoes, you'll probably want to peel it because it's a little bit thicker. But maybe not, just chop them up small. But that is your russet potato. These ones up here, you'll see these are the Yukon Golds, but they're not gold, they're green. So this means that when they were growing underground, because they grow as tubers, meaning they grow under the dirt, they got somehow exposed to light, and light turns them green. And green potatoes are actually not good for us and can make you sick, but don't throw them out. Just use a potato peeler and just peel that off until it's white flesh underneath, and then you can eat them. No need to throw them out. So this is a potato. Let me walk up closer for you. This is a potato that you can plant. See the eyes on that potato? They're watching you. Look at that. So a potato like this, if you had this in the spring, you cut this so that you have two eyes, and you actually just plant those pieces. You have two pieces to plant. You put them underground, you cover it up with dirt, you cover it up and you feed them with water, leave them in the sun, and then you fertilize them once or twice in their growing season. But those are the seeds for potatoes. So this can be totally fine to eat. You just rip off the seed. I would probably peel that because you see it looks like a brain a little bit, but it's a little bit dry, it's a little bit wrinkly, but that just means that the moisture is gone out of it. So if it doesn't look too bad and that's all you got, go for it, feel free. Just break those off, give them a good wash, and then just peel that with a potato peeler. Now I know that potatoes come in a bag, but you should still wash them. You never know how many hands touch them in the garden or in the field, and how many people handled them until they got into that bag. So you should always wash them. Now potatoes like cooler weather to be stored in. So leaving them in the bag that they came in is fantastic because this is a little hole that's breathable. The air will go in and out. So don't lay them down on this side because then the air isn't going to be able to circulate and they will go moldy faster. They are a living food, so they're constantly going to be ripening. So you want that air exchange to happen so that the gas that the food lets out as it ripens can leave and not keep ripening things really quickly. So that's why they have, it's not just so that we can see what's in it, although that's what we might think. That is so that they can breathe. All right, so we have another kind of potato that is not a regular potato. It's called a sweet potato. And you might see them in the grocery stores these days. These were the original sweet potatoes, kind of orangey flesh on the skin on the outside and orangey in the middle. Now they have multiple different kinds of sweet potatoes. Not that it's new, it's just new to us. So down south, when they have been eating and living off of sweet potatoes forever, this is one of the kinds that they have been having. Now this is a sticker because they were not in the bag. It's beautiful. This is a Jamaican sweet potato. So it's purple, and then on the inside it's a lighter pale yellow. And then there's lighter skinned, like almost a pale sweet potato color. So there's 3 or 4 different kinds. There's a dark purple one as well. But all of them are sweet potatoes, and they all taste about the same. They're a little bit sweeter, thus the name. So remember when I said we have to choose the right potato for what we're doing. So sweet potatoes are interchangeable for any other potato in any recipe. Take, for example, a shepherd's pie. We usually put mashed potatoes on top. Well, feel free to put sweet potato mashed on top. Excellent. You can use them, and when you're baking baked potatoes, you can wrap these up in tin foil, spear them a couple times before, put them in the oven, then just bake them and eat them whole like that as well. So many things you can do for them. One thing I would challenge you on, however, is how you cook up your potatoes to be mashed. So I'm hoping you've heard that boiling our vegetables and our starches isn't a very healthy thing, because as soon as we cover the food with water, a lot of the vitamins, especially like vitamin C and beta carotene, come out of the food and go into the water, and we typically don't drink the water, so we lose that. So I would challenge you to cook them in a different way. I would steam them. So we have a steamer basket, put it in the bottom of the pot, fill up the pot to water just under the steamer basket, cut up your potatoes if you're doing them to mash them, put them in the water, or put them in on top of the steamer basket and steam them for 10-15 minutes. Just don't run out of water. And there you have it. You have potatoes not being boiled, but they'll be just as soft as other potatoes. So I have done it tried and true. I've also done it that way for sweet corn when the season comes. So don't boil your sweet corn either. All right, so some people do wonder if they have some different health concerns like diabetes, if they can eat sweet potatoes, or if they can even eat these regular potatoes. So what we do know is that yes, sweet potatoes are a little bit sweeter. However, the type of carbohydrate in sweet potatoes is called a complex carbohydrate. It's not your simple sugar like honey or candy. It doesn't break down in the body really quickly. It doesn't start to break down in the mouth like those candies do. So this complex carbohydrate that's in them that makes them sweet is actually really the kind of carbohydrate you want when you have diabetes and you want to control your blood sugar. So eating a half a cup to a cup of these at a meal time isn't going to spike your blood sugar, especially if you have some ground beef, ground turkey, pork, chicken, something with it as a protein. So these are definitely A-okay on a meal plan for people that are trying to control their blood sugar. So as something to note as well is you might plant some potatoes and then only get them this size or even smaller. Don't throw them out. They're actually very expensive to purchase. I think this little bag can be up to $6. $7, Marianne said. And all it is potatoes that are little. So enjoy your little potatoes from the garden. They are really perfect for throwing it in a pot with your roast. Cook up your roast halfway through and then add your potatoes around, your chopped up carrots or sweet potatoes or celery. And you don't even have to do anything besides wash them. You don't have to cut them in half. They are the perfect size. Another great way is to make some potato salad out of those. You just steam them up, cut them in half, and then you're good to go. So enjoy your little potatoes. All right, what have I forgotten to tell you? Oh, the one thing that I did want to say is whenever you're cooking in the oven, don't leave space, especially when we're in the winter and every little bit of heat that we're making we want to use and not waste. So if you're putting a tray of sweet potato fries in the oven. On the tray underneath, maybe wrap up a couple of these in tin foil, and so then you can eat them the next couple of days. Potatoes that you cook are good in the fridge for 4 or 5 days afterwards, as long as you don't put them in hot. Unwrap the tin foil, cool them down, wrap it back up, and then put them in your fridge. And then you can have them in 4 or 5 days. One of the best ways I find leftovers for having a lot of potatoes is if you have a baked potato, reheat it so you can put it in a frying pan with a little bit of water, put the lid on it, you can cut it up into slices, and then just put some kind of ground meat on top. You can put some chives, you can shred some carrot, you can put them on top, you can put a little cheese on top, but then you have a loaded potato. Something that you would pay a lot of money for in the grocery store. Add your sour cream, add your cheese, and you're good to go. But a fantastic base for a meal. Excellent. So now you know all the different kinds. You know that you can purchase them in large quantities that are naturally imperfect, meaning they're not perfectly straight. They're kind of crooked. They're kind of happy. So enjoy them. Enjoy your cost savings when you buy something like this from No Frills, because us farmers, if you know a farmer out there, we have no control over how our food grows. And sometimes if it grows crooked, it still tastes just as good. So I hope you've learned something today from potatoes. We've chatted a lot about potatoes, and they are good for you, and then they can be part of your daily meal plan.